All right, here we go. We got our recording going. It is 11:22, November 22nd, and right in time for Thanksgiving. So I couldn't come up with a proper turkey hat, so hopefully I didn't let anybody down with that one. But anybody shows up on the call with a turkey hat is going to win the prize. All right, Black Friday is truly upon us now. We got 2 days left, and I don't know about you guys, but I've been throwing my stuff out early, and oh, there he is. Look at the turkey man. Right on. I knew somebody had come up with a turkey hat.
Oh, you mean this old thing? Kind of look like a Viking hat.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And you know why I really like it? Because it keeps my bald head warm.
That is absolutely classic. I knew somebody would come through with a turkey hat.
Yeah. I got quite a collection.
That is absolutely awesome.
I said this to my sister and brother because it comes in a pack of 3, and then I before I sent it, I stuffed the turkey with candy, and because you have a turkey, but it's nothing without the stuffing.
Well, it looks like you just stuffed it with your head.
Yeah. What's the prize? What do I win?
That is classic. You win the applaud prize for today.
Nice.
Everyone's going to applaud you.
A round of applause.
Oh, that's awesome.
You stuff the turkey with candy. Are you saying it's a candy? Never mind.
Candy, not a candy ass, a candy hat. I got coffee boiling on the stove. I'll be right back.
Very classic. But anyway, back to our Black Friday thing. If you guys are like me, you've been throwing it out early this year, and I have noticed, like, I didn't do much last year, so I have nothing to compare to last year, but the year before I sent Black Friday stuff out, and this year we're getting a really, really good response, whether it be to the crypto club or the acquisitionaire, or whatever we're throwing out, people are biting on it. So I think if you don't hit it this year, I think you're really missing out. You're missing out on some serious opportunity. And I also want to hit up, like, the whole thing of advertising. When you're in traffic, when we're talking about Black Friday specials and stuff, this assumes that you have your shit together. This assumes that you have, like, something to sell, and you know how to sell it, and you know who wants it and why they want it and all that. That is really important stuff. And that goes to the core functionality of the ACT program from its basic unit. The whole purpose of the ACT program is to teach how to create demand and desire for your products. And if you haven't done that yet, and you're in the traffic mode and you're trying to sell, things are probably not working very well. Things are probably difficult, unless you're just lucky. There is that. I have seen people that come up with something and it just needs no description. People just want to buy it. I mean, there's been some crazy anomalies. Like, some of them I can't even explain. Like, I have no explanation whatsoever for the pet rock. I just can't get my head wrapped around that shit. I just, so there are weird things that happen, they're freaks of nature, but I don't want you to try and depend on a freak of nature to run your business. This is very methodical. It's very engineered. It's like, if you have something for sale and you've got people that want that, you really need to figure out why they want it, so you can figure out how to talk to them about it, whether that be face-to-face, or that be in a video, or that be in your marketing campaign or your funnels in an elevator. It doesn't really matter. You have to communicate your value if you're going to get somebody to want what you have. And, you know, we ran into this again when we released, or actually when we did our beta test on Acquisition Air. You know, originally I was calling it unlimited leads because I didn't have a better name for it at the time when we released it, but everybody wanted it. It's a really easy thing to sell because it's what everybody really wants. It's leads. It's like leads on demand. So it's a really easy thing to sell. But the problem being when somebody buys it, they're not ready for it. And I've seen this like my entire career in the internet marketing space is there's a lot of people out there selling stuff and they don't really care if you're ready for it or not. They just want to sell it to you. They don't care if you get what you need out of it. They're just looking at their numbers. So I actually care about that. That's why, you know, when I was selling SEO to companies, I was very picky, very choosy about who I would actually take on as a client, because I didn't want to have a customer pay me for something that they couldn't use. And if I got a client that didn't know how to sell their stuff and didn't know how to communicate their value, I would not take them on as an SEO customer. It's like any kind of traffic, whether it be SEO or pay-per-click or our lead system or, you know, whatever it is, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a traffic source that's going to bring people to your message, to your website, to your business, to whatever, and you're not ready for it, it's going to magnify that problem. You know, traffic is like a magnifier. It's going to magnify whatever you put it on. If you put it on problems, it's going to magnify them. If they were not seen before, you're going to see them real quick with the magnifier on it. If you've got a good process, if you have a sales system and you can lead people through a process to convert them from a cold prospect into a customer, and you put a magnifier on that, guess what? You're going to get more customers. It's going to magnify exactly whatever you have. So the key feature here is you don't want to magnify problems. Solve the problems first. You know, get the problems out of the way. And if you're not doing this, if you're not in your business, it doesn't matter what you do or what you sell. If you're not following this process, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You have to figure out who wants your stuff and why they want it. What is it going to do for them? If you don't figure that out, the communication is going to be broken. So that in ACT, the A is analysis. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about research, analysis, figuring out who your customer is, who your ideal customer is. Not just any customer. Like one of the first pieces in the ACT analysis program is segmenting your market. Like every one of us has the potential to take on just about anybody as a customer if we wanted to. If they wanted to be a customer and you wanted to have them, we have the ability to take on almost anyone as a customer. Now, the question is, should you do that? And the answer is no. The answer is absolutely not. Because if you take on the wrong customer, your life is going to become a living hell. And that's not what you want to build. That's not the business you want to build. You want to build a freedom business where it creates freedom for you, not frustration. So identifying for you who an ideal customer is really important. It's like one of the first steps of the whole analysis process. If you haven't done that, I would really encourage you to do that. You know, figure out who is your most profitable customer and, you know, do that segmentation process. Figure out what are your most profitable segments and take the rest of the segments and just set them to the side. Just temporarily forget about them. I'm not saying you have to leave them out in the woods forever. You can come back to them if you want to. I can almost guarantee you're not going to want to, though. once you figure out how to do this. When you figure out how to work with the customers you love, you are not going to want to go back. So segment your market. Figure out what your profitable segments are. And the formula for a profitable segment, to figure out if you have a profitable segment, is the first piece to the equation is the size of the market. Is this segment big enough to fulfill your sales goals? Is there enough people for you to justify going after it? If there's not, it fails the test. There's 3 legs, 3 prongs to this test. If it fails any one of them, I really recommend you abandon it and keep looking. So that's the first prong. The second prong is, do they actually want what you've got? You know, there has to be a desire there to have what you've got. And the third prong is, do they have the money to pay for it? You have to have all 3 of those. If you're missing any one of those, then the process fails. You did not find a profitable segment. So the idea is to look at all of your profitable segments. And then for you, it kind of comes down to a personal choice of who you like to work with. Like, to me, it's not necessarily all about the money. It's mostly about the money, but it's not all about the money. You know, there's got to be money to it, or it's just not worth it. Right. But here's an example. You might have like one segment that would be really profitable for you. You would make really good money and you'd be working with people that you absolutely love to work with. The segment right next to it might make you 3 times more money, but you'd be working with somebody that absolutely drives you crazy. To me, that's not worth it. I'll work with the people I like to work with, and I'll make plenty of money doing it. I won't work with somebody that is going to be an asshole. I'm, sorry. It just is not going to happen. They're going to go down the road as fast as they can. I'm just not going to do it. I really don't care how much money they've got. I'm not going to bend to that there's not enough wind there to bend the branch. Sorry. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, like, for you, find your most profitable segment. It's got to have all those things, and it's got to be something that makes you happy. Don't go into something just for the money that's going to make you miserable. That's no way to go through life. So that's the first piece of it, right? And you got to do that. We're talking about Black Friday stuff, and I think the reason that my Black Friday specials are working so well is I've done that. I've figured out those markets, who wants what. Like, I've been collecting a list of people that are interested in crypto stuff for the last probably 3 years, maybe a little bit more. So when I do an offer out to them, and I know what they want, I know what they're scared of, I know what's keeping them up at night. When I make an offer out to them based on that, they grab it. It works really, really well. It converts like crazy because I got the profitable segment. And this is not something where I'm making a ton of money on them. It's not like that. I love doing it because I like helping them. It's good people. They're very gracious. They're very thankful. And that kind of stuff, I'll do that for a lot less money and still be happy. So that's an example of one of the things I'm doing for this particular Black Friday. Now, there's another segment, and these 2 segments I haven't even touched yet. This, I have an idea, is going to be an absolute goldmine. I've been collecting leads now for the last 4 years, giving out a free ebook about AI. It's a free ebook about automating your business using AI. Now, 4 years ago, that wasn't even a topic. It was way ahead. And because it was so far ahead, it grabbed a lot of attention. So I've got 4 years of people that have come on to that. Now, anybody in business, the most important thing is leads. right? If you don't have leads to fill your sales pipeline, you're not going to get any sales out the other end. So most people are very short-sighted. They're just looking at the end game. They're like, I need customers. I need customers. And they're not going back to the beginning of how do I get customers? How do I communicate my value? They're missing all that stuff. They just want the customers, right? They understand enough to know that, okay, well, I need leads if I'm going to get customers. This is why so many people will spend money on SEO. They'll spend money on SEO because they believe that's the thing that's going to get them the customers. And it's not. Their sales conversion is going to get them the customers. Their marketing funnel is going to get them the customers. All the SEO is going to do is bring the people to the funnel. It's like the funnel is your cat. Your cat is the thing that kills the mice or the birds or whatever you want to call it. You know, if you don't have a cat, you want to bring the bird to the cat. That's what your funnel is. So you put the little fancy things out there to get the bird's attention, and then you cage them and you bring them to the cat. That's your funnel, and that's kind of a grim way to think about this, but we are leading people through that process, not to kill them, but to convert them. That I use the analogies of war and sex a lot. And because they tie in so much to business. I mean, you could take almost any war, business, and sex, and you could connect them all almost in a perfect parallel. You really can. And speaking of sex, we're talking about attractors here, like the big idea. The big idea formula is about grabbing attention. If you can't grab attention, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to get them interested enough to take the next step and learn about what you have. So you have to be able to grab their attention. One of the companies that I did some consulting and some work, and this was actually before I even got into the internet. This was back when I was a commercial photographer. But one of the customers that I worked with was Playboy. And I got to, again, sit in their boardroom and, be involved in their advertising. And one of the things that I learned was they never put nudity on the cover. Never. Like if you look at Playboy, there's no nudity on the cover. And this is a nudie magazine, right? You would think that putting nude on the cover would grab attention and get the goal done. But no, it's the curiosity. When we talk about the big idea formula, one of the pieces to it is the curiosity factor. Saying things in a way that nobody's ever heard it before to create the curiosity. So that's why they'll have the girl in the mini skirt and the sexy panties and all that. They don't show the nudity. They hide it. They hide it because they want you to buy the magazine so you can dig in and get to what you're looking for. Teresa, no, we don't buy it for the article. Sorry.
Then you're missing out, because I'm telling you, some of the copy in those magazines was brilliant.
Oh,
I based a paper in college on legalization of marijuana that was based on some articles in Playboy. So don't dismiss it just because it's got cute people in it.
No, you're absolutely right. It's a higher. It's actually the clientele of that is actually a higher level, believe it or not. That's why they took, and here's the idea of a funnel. You bring somebody in for what they call a tripwire. It's a minimum purchase. And then you take them up the value ladder and you sell them more and more and more. Well, with the Playboy, they found that, hey, these people have a lot of money to spend. So that's where they went into advertising. That's where all those articles come from. They're trying to appeal to a higher level consumer, people that spend a lot of money. You'll notice the ads in there. It's flashy stuff. It's like high-end watches, it's high-end cars, it's boats, it's like the dream life. And they equate that. It was like, it's interesting, the psychology behind Playboy. They put this like even the word Playboy means a guy that's got a lot of money that is a Playboy. You know, it's not about the women, it's about the lifestyle of the guy. He is the Playboy, right? He has toys. You know, he's got surrounded by beautiful women. It's a whole psychology. And go back, think about it. That magazine's not necessarily for women, right? They've segmented the market. They know their avatar is a man, and what is most important to a man. We've talked about this over and over and over. It's significance. What is more significant than being a Playboy? For a man, what could be more significant? Now, I know you've got the guys that are married and they can't say that in public, but we're talking about their deep, dark thoughts here, the real thing. And in advertising, this is where you better learn to get to. If you're going to be effective, you better learn to figure out what they're really thinking. They want to be a Playboy. They want the fancy car. They want the fancy, flashy watch. They want to be surrounded by beautiful women. Right? That's why they buy the magazine. That's why they buy all the fancy stuff that's in there. You know, that's why they read the articles. So there's a lot of really good key learning points to this conversation. Is, you know, mostly about figuring out who your avatar is, what they want, what they'll buy. And I was talking about the ascension ladder. When you sell them the beginning thing, like let's say you sell them the magazine's a couple dollars, then you sell them a subscription to the magazine so they don't miss out. Now you've locked in recurring income, and then you sell them events, and then ultimately you sell them into the Playboy Club, where they get access to the parties and the mansions. That's a high dollar entry point. So they start out with a couple dollars for a magazine, and they wind up, you know, $100,000 fundraiser. That's a serious, you know, ascension ladder. So you also need that in your business. You can't just have a business around selling one thing, especially if it's not a consumable item. If it's a one-shot deal, like I know most of you have heard the story about the maternity dress. You know, the woman that's selling the maternity dress, if she sells that dress one time, she's now looking for a new customer. Her shelf life on that customer is about 3 months. And then she's out of business unless she finds another customer. Or she can use that maternity dress as a loss leader. She doesn't even have to make money on it. She can use that to get a customer that she can serve for the next 18 years. Because she knows every step that customer is going to go through for the next 18 years. She doesn't have to build any more products. She can just use the maternity dress as the beginning leader product to get them into her 18-year sales funnel. The rest of the products for the next 18 years can all be affiliate offers. All she has to do is become an expert for her customer on what they're going to need next and make the referrals and make the money. So now she can go from making, you know, very little to actually losing money on the sale of her product to having an 18-year income stream that could be incredibly lucrative. So
hey, John, with that pause, I'm thinking, at least for me right now, that the acquisition heir can be a one product company and meet the financial needs that we may have. Now, you guys that are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, that's one thing. I turned 74, so I'm looking at about a 5-year horizon. I want to get in, veil for 5 years, and have a chunk that I can then sell, give to my son, whatever. Because the one thing that I found success was I was trying a whole bunch of things here for the last 3 or 4 years, and one guy finally said, "Look, take one product, one niche, one niche, one product, one approach. Do it for 1 year, and then you'll know what you're doing." And when you do that with acquisitionaire, at the end of the year, to use one of your metaphors, you just go get more paper. and acquisitionaire will provide you with all the paper you want for your money printing machine.
Bill, you are absolutely right there. That's a thing that I call time compression. And this is one of the things that I actually teach in the crypto club is time compression. Like people that are starting investing later in life, they don't have the time. They don't have the physical time to make up. So if they're going to get to a certain wealth point in a short amount of time, they need time compression. And that is an increase in return. So you can't depend on the normal returns if you want to do that. The math doesn't work. There's no miracles. So you use time compression. And business is the same thing. Remember the freedom formula, that's your time compressor. The freedom formula says, here's the dollar figure for my ideal life per month. This is what it would cost me. And then here's the profit in the products that I sell. And how many do I have to sell to live that lifestyle? And then you create a marketing campaign to move those units. And you're right, it's a money printing machine. That's what it is. It's time compression. So in math, I absolutely love simple math. Simple math is the key to anything you want. It's, my dad taught me that very early. I wanted a model airplane. And the kit cost, I don't remember how much it cost, but he told me when I asked him if I could have it. Remember, he brought me the first one. And we built this model airplane together, and I was absolutely hooked. As soon as we were done, I'm a kid. Obviously, I want another one, right? So I asked him, I said, can we get another one? As soon as we done it, I mean, like the second it was done, can we get another one? And he just looked at me, he said, you can have all you want. You just have to figure out how to get the money for it. These things cost money. And from that second in my timeline of my entire life, it was all about, I can have whatever I want. I just have to figure out how to get the money for it. And it became a math equation. So I just figured out how many cars in the neighborhood do I have to wash to get enough quarters to buy that next model airplane. And by the time he got home from work the next day, I had it. And I took it to him and I said, here it is. And we got in the car and we went and bought another model. And he was taking me to that model shop about every night. By the end of the summer, I had a fleet of aircraft. And it's been that way ever since. It's what do you want? How much is it? Where's that money going to come from? How many units do I have to move? Like I knew I could wash a car for $25. How many cars do I have to wash to get that model? And it's
You're cheap on washing cars, John.
Oh, well, you're talking in the 1970s. That was the going rate.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, John, I actually used that idea when I worked for Starbucks. As an employee, all right, when you talk about getting what you want, all right, I hate wearing anything but jeans. Most of you know that. You always see me in jeans. That's what I want to wear. Well, my manager said, if you sell 5 pounds of coffee tonight, you get to wear jeans tomorrow. I did that for like 2 years straight. Every shift, I would sell a couple pounds of coffee to wear jeans the next day. And to the point they had to make a rule saying, I'm sorry, no more wearing jeans. Because Tim found a way to do it every night.
Now you thought my 25 cents was cheap. I'm going to turn that back around on you.
Go ahead, do it, do it.
Say, that was cheap because there's not enough money in the world for me to wear a pair of jeans.
Hey, I have a jeans rule just like you have a shoe rule. You want me to speak? I wear jeans.
That's awesome. As long as
John
we all
has
get what
but
we
it-
want.
a shorts rule. He wears shorts.
I know. But have
Unless
you
it's-
seen his legs? I don't know, man. He thinks he's pulling it off. I'm just not.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just don't care. I'm not pulling it off for anybody but me.
That's the key to an avatar. You don't care what other people think.
Yeah, no,
I
that's the
have to go
key
to
to
another
freedom
call.
is
Happy
what that
Thanksgiving,
is.
John. I will see you guys next week.
All right. But no, that's the key to freedom. You know, Tim is living that lifestyle. I'm living that lifestyle. We're free because we can be. And the thing that does that is, you know, I talked about this, I don't know, a few weeks ago. I think more or less with me, it's about confidence. The way that I pull things off is about confidence. It always has been. And I found that whenever I'm in a situation where I am trying to sell something, whether I have the thing that I'm trying to sell or not, like most of the stuff I've sold throughout my life, I didn't have. I had to make it. And I had no idea how it was going to get made. But that didn't matter in the sales process. I sold it as though it was already done and there was no problem. And there was a high level of confidence. And other people that I've seen that go into things with a low level of confidence either never get off the starting block or they struggle very badly. And this was a perfect example when I started doing my reseller program with SEO. The guys that were in there, they were having trouble selling it because they didn't have the confidence behind them that they could do it. And I'm like, you don't have to. I can do it for you. You're not going to be the one doing the SEO. I'm going to be the one doing it. You believe I can do it, right? I have proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt. But they still, you know, they put all kinds of hurdles in front of themselves. They said, oh, I have to do it on my own website first. I have to prove it. Bullshit. You don't have to prove anything. You have to be confident that you can do it and they will believe it. Now, I'm not saying, you know, bullshit them into something that you're going to give them a snow job and then screw them. I'm not saying that at all. But if you know you can deliver on something, you sell it as that. And I've always gone into anything like that was another, you know, that was another key thing that I got from both my dad and my grandfathers. You can build anything given the right tools. So I have always had that in the back of my head that there's nothing I can't do given the right tools. I just have to figure out what tools I need, go get them and do whatever it is I'm going to do. You know, like when I was a photographer, I didn't have a computer. Computer's a tool. I didn't know how to even turn one on. But I knew going into the internet, I could do it. I just needed the right tools. So I was able to sell doing websites before I knew how to do a website. I went to those customers and I said, hey, here's what I'm doing. I said it to them like as though I was already doing it for 10 years. And they all believed I could do it. And I did it. And there was never any hesitation. I didn't say, oh, well, I have to go build a website for myself. I didn't build a website for myself for like 10 years. I had no website myself for the first 10 years of me doing the internet. There was nobody that was going to pay me to do a website for myself, right? I was doing websites for people that were willing to pay me to do it. That's it. You know, like the same thing with SEO. There was so many people that bagged on me because my sites were never SEO'd. I'm like, who's going to pay me to SEO my site? People are paying me to SEO their site. Do you think that they would be happy with me taking all of my effort and focusing it on myself, or focusing on them when they're paying me to do that? You know, that's where I spent my money, is where people were paying me for results.
Hey, John, that's a good time to segue in here and say, some of us are trying to figure out some of us peons are trying to figure out where to spend our money, the little peanuts that we have. So are you suggesting that you don't deal with or even think about Acquisition Air now that we have two offers on the table, the Crypto Club and Acquisition Air? Are you suggesting you leave Acquisition Air alone until you have mastered the ACT program and then come into Acquisition Air some other time? Or are you suggesting that we get involved in Acquisition Air and learn both at the same time? I'm a little confused because we're spending, it sounds like it's $49 a month. Did I get that right?
Yeah, for the beginner package. Now,
Okay,
here's
so
the thing, and you are correct, Randy. Acquisition Air is a traffic product. And I have said this over and over and over. Unless you're ready for traffic, it's just going to be expensive. And we proved that with the beta testers. All the beta,
Right.
there was a lot of beta testers that jumped in to beta tests and they weren't ready. They spent money and it didn't work because they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't
Right,
have
so
a
let's-
funnel, they didn't have landing page, they didn't have cold email. So the marketing, the T is always on the end. The T is the traffic. Acquisition Air is definitely a traffic product.
Okay.
Just like SEO, just like pay-per-click. I always tell everybody, I've been very consistent since day one on this. You don't buy traffic until you're ready to convert it.
So if someone's not ready to buy traffic 6 months from now, they're not going to be able to get in here for the $49 a month. That's going to change. Is that what
That
you're
is
saying?
correct. That is correct. That is like the Black Friday special for the beta testers to reward them with that pricing. So
Okay.
you got to look at, how long are you going to take before you figure out how to market your company? And if it were me, I would be busting my hump to get that nut cracked.
Right.
I wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to spend the next year creating a marketing campaign. I would say I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks with my nose to the grindstone, and I'm going to get a marketing campaign in place, and then I'm ready for traffic. I'm ready for testing. Like I'll give you a perfect example of the guy. There's my best person, the absolute best example of somebody that knew nothing about marketing, went through the ACT program at lightning speed because of necessity, right? This was absolute necessity. And he was the fastest success that I have seen yet today. And it was interesting. He was actually a person that was renting one of my rental houses. And I knew him, and he showed up at my door one day and he's like, hey, he goes, can I ask for your help? And I'm like, sure, what do you need? And he said, I really need to figure out marketing. He said, like, his big customer that he did his work for basically just cut him loose. Now, he's got a $5,000 a month rent payment to me every month. He's got a new fiance with new wedding expenses. I mean, he was in deep. He had new car payments and he just lost his income source. So you're talking about somebody that was literally freaking out. So he needed to figure this out real quick. I said, let me give you access to my ACT program. I said, you can go through it. He's like, how long will it take? I'm like, that's up to you. He went through that thing in 1 day. He was back on my couch the next day. He says, I went through it. It's awesome. What do I do next? I said, well, put it in play, figure out, tell me who your market is. He figured out, he cut to the most profitable segment of his market. And what this guy did was he had a machine that he had created with 3D. It was like a 3D virtual reality for construction. It was literally one of the coolest things I had ever seen. And it was for forecasting like what a construction site was going to come out like on the other end. Like you could do a walkthrough of the construction site as, you know, as it was being built, when it was completed, before anything had been done on the ground. And one of the things that this was really good for was forecasting problems in the construction itself, like particular pieces of equipment that weren't going to fit into the spaces to do the actual construction. He said, I can save big construction sites literally millions of dollars in problems by figuring this stuff out ahead of time, so they can plan for it instead of getting roadblocked and you know, cause delays and all that. It was really cool. So we figured out who the ideal customer was. We found that they were on LinkedIn, and he built the campaign in 1 week. Within 7 days, he had a campaign up in Kartra, ready to take leads and nurture them through and become a customer. We went to LinkedIn. I helped him set up an ad campaign in LinkedIn where he could buy advertising to the right people. He figured out exactly who the buyer of this product would be. And within another week, he actually had prospects that he was doing demonstrations for. And I think within the third week, he locked in the project at LAX for the Tom Bradley construction terminal. It was a multi-million-dollar project. A week after that, he got the one for Ontario Airport. And the week after that, he got San Diego Airport. He had 3 airport construction projects on his books within the first 6 weeks of even talking about ACT. He didn't even know what ACT was. So does it take a long time? No. It takes a necessity. He had a need. He had a necessity. He was going to win or die, and he did not want to die. So he put the wood to that project. And he did it.
Okay, so back to the basics, the ACT program, then create the marketing campaign, then launch it with acquisitionnaire. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to have something to generate leads for. If you don't have something that you need leads for, then you don't need leads yet. Okay. You're all going to need leads. So acquisitionnaire is for everyone. The question is, do you buy it now and lock in the discount for life, or do you buy it later and pay more for it? That's really the only question. And that comes down to how long do you think it's going to take you? If you think it's going to take you a month or 2 months to get it figured out, you might be better off to get it now.
Yeah, and that was the real question, to get to the nuts and bolts. So I just wanted to understand that. And then the second part of that is, okay, the other offer. Now, the crypto thing, if you're just like clueless, but you're playing around in a little bit, what you pay the $97 for the year, but what happens at the club meetings? Is it an educational thing? Is it recommendations?
So with the crypto thing is assuming that you have money to invest. It's an investment source. It's like education on investing in a new asset class called crypto, blockchain.
Right.
And we talk about the opportunities in there, the risks. There's a lot of risks. You know, anything that has to do with investing, you have the potential to lose your money. There's no way around it. That's just the name of the game. But, I talk about time compression, and I share a lot of like my thought processes in there, how I look at money, how I look at investing. the particular assets. I've done a tremendous amount of research on this marketplace, on this new asset class, like the players. There's a lot of scams. You could easily get taken in this arena if you just dive into it not knowing what you're doing. It's like
Right.
anything else, it's an alligator swamp. So in there, I'm basically helping you walk across the top of the alligators to get to the pot of gold on the other side of the shore. That's basically what I'm doing in there. Now, that said, and again, I don't want to go into it here, and this is by no means financial advice, but there are opportunities in the blockchain arena that are going to happen once, and it'll be the opportunities that like we've never seen in our lifetime. I don't think anybody has. The exponential growth that is going to explode over the next very short time frame is going to be incredible. It's going to be like, from what I can tell, it's going to be like nothing we've ever seen. And I have, and I show in there exactly what I've done, how I've positioned myself, which ones I believe in, why I believe in them. And the evidence is very compelling. Like I said, there's no guarantees and there's no get rich quick.
Right.
Other than this might be the first actual get rich quick thing that's ever existed.
But it's more educational, informational, based on your experience and all that good stuff. And it's only a once a year thing, right? I mean, how often do you guys meet?
Yeah, it's once a month. And then you get access to the whole platform. We've been doing this now for 2.5, almost 3 years, I think.
Oh, okay.
And you get access to all the previous recordings, all the way back, all the resources that I've put in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That stuff.
All right,
So
thank you.
we actually do the meetings once a month, and answer any questions, go over anything new that's come up, and all that.
Got it. Okay.
All that good
Right.
stuff. But
Right.
but it's not a money making thing. Acquisition and the ACT program and all that, that's about business. That's about
Right.
making money. And then the crypto club is about what to do with that money once you've made it.
Got it.
How to put the money to work for you. Because ultimately we don't want to work forever. In fact, we probably don't want to work very long. In my case, I don't really want to work at all. So when you can put your money to work for you, you no longer have to work. And that is what, that's the dream of retirement. Retirement is you stop working and the money just flows for the rest of your life. That's the dream, but it's not really a dream, it's math. The problem is most people wind up working their entire life to get the minimum basic retirement, and then they're not going to live high. And in fact, they're going to live on the edge, and anything that goes wrong can put them under. And then they're working at Walmart. They're 80 years old, being a greeter at Walmart just to put food on the table. And, in my opinion, that's just fucked up as a society, that is even a possibility in our society. So anyway, I'm going to stop that rant because I don't even want to go down that hole. It just makes me sick to think about it. All right,
John, what is your I mean, I've seen the acquisitionaire, I've seen your page, your Black Friday offer and all that stuff. So those are all the parts and pieces. What is your outreach to get people to your funnel, and what are you using to attract your birds?
I'm using affiliates, plain and simple, just like I've always done, because I don't really want to work at it. Now I'll use my existing list, right? Like I got most of my beta testers came in off of the list of people that are in the ACT program. That was a very small sampling of a list just for us to iron the bugs out as we were developing the software. It probably drove Brady nuts because we found every hole there was, and he got to work with the developers to get them all plugged. So that was just, that was a very small sampling core off of my list of ACT people that have been in the ACT program. Now I have another big list of the people in SitePop. A lot of those people don't even know about ACT. They came in from other affiliates, and they came in, from SEO groups, and they don't even know all the other stuff that I do. That's a very segmented pot. I talk to them about what I know they're interested in, and I can assure you they're going to be interested in acquisition air. They're going to be like on that, like stink on a big pile. And they haven't even heard about it yet. So I'm going to hit my internal list. That's what we call low-hanging fruit. That's stuff that's just sitting at the floor ready for you to pick it up. So that will be what I'm doing over this weekend. I'll be just picking up the easy low-hanging fruit off the floor. And then after that, I'm going to open it up to my JV brokers and all the people that help me promote anywhere along the way. I'm going to give it to them first. And then after that, I'm going to start reaching out to the next ring, which is the internet marketers. Most of these internet marketers are very coin operated. They have big lists. They're, hey, maybe I can even get Frankie Baby to promote this. He's about as coin operated as they get. So, I've got a couple of connections into the Go High Level world. Even though I don't care for it as a product, they have a massive community. They could sell the snot out of this thing. So I'm going to let them do it. I have no problem with, with that community. It's just, I don't care for the product. I wouldn't use it myself, but that doesn't mean that it wouldn't help the people that are using it. So I'll have a few channels go in that direction. I'm going to use my influence at Kartra to see if I can get Kartra to actually promote it. And I'm going to show them how we can intertwine it in there using SendGrid. So it doesn't have any risk to their mail servers. So that'll basically be how I roll it out. I've already identified through a couple of speaking gigs that I've done already about a half a dozen agencies. And really that's all I probably would ever need is a half a dozen agencies that are doing, millions of leads a month. I'd be set. I'd be done. So this is really about opening the opportunity, just like I've always done. I've always opened opportunity to resellers and people that have been in my groups and my communities, and letting them make money. Because that's, for a lot of people, that's the biggest thing. They just don't know what to do to make money. So I've always shared, hey, here's something I know makes money. I know how it makes money. I can teach you how to make money with it. And, over the years, a lot of people have made careers out of what I've taught them. Like when I go to the SEO rockstar world, there's just person after person after person that will come up to me and tell me, I'm in business because of you. I've had 10 years of success because of what I learned from you. And that just makes me warm and fuzzy all the way through. I just absolutely love it. There's nothing better for me than to hear something like that. That's worth more than money to me. So it's like, I know how to make money. I can make plenty of money, but for me to be able to help someone else to do that, that's really cool to me. So, I'm
hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
So both these offers, I know they're not for everybody, but both these offers are early offers, good through when?
Probably through the weekend.
Oh, okay. All right.
Haven't really decided on expiration dates yet, but generally probably through next week, actually. Because usually we'll roll it into Cyber Monday and then, we'll probably close them out somewhere in the next week. I believe it or not, you probably would believe it because it's coming from me. I haven't even wrote the copy yet for the letters I'm going to send out introducing it. That will probably happen sometime today.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
So that'll happen sometime today. Go out tonight and seed it for while people are gobbling up turkey and getting all lethargic. And then we'll hit it again on Friday and then over the weekend, and I'll pump it again for Cyber Monday, and then we'll move on to the next thing. We'll get back on here next week and everybody can say how their Black Friday sales and specials went. So
John,
let me go to Henry here. Henry says hand up for a while.
Oops. Thanks, Jim. Do you know what's the outlook on the phone numbers that you get with the leads?
Yes.
By any chance?
Yes.
Is there anything that's under work that I should hear about?
The phone numbers that it generates are very shoddy at best. So what you're really going for is the email. The phone numbers, like I'll tell you where we get the data is from a consumer database, and people that are in the database have opted in somewhere to get something free on the internet. So they have agreed to accept partners' offers. So they've already opted in, they've agreed to accept, marketing materials from anybody. When they do that, they have to put in all their contact information. A lot of people will put either a bogus phone number or a phone number that goes to something else or something they don't deal with, they don't manage. So what we found, we had about a half a dozen guys that were cold callers, and they actually cold called the numbers, and they found a lot of them were either, wrong numbers or not a good connection. But the emails are almost 100% on point, because when you opt in, you're giving an email to be sent something. So if you put in a bad email, you're not going to get the thing you wanted. And we also clean the lists too. So we make sure the lists are deliverable, they're good emails. And so the emails are rock solid. The phone numbers, I don't really have a percentage of good phone numbers. But what I did find out was the guys that were cold calling, they said the numbers that were good were really good. Like most of them were selling like insurance and kind of high-end stuff. But they said, and I don't know that they ever gave me like a percentage. But they said
I can give you a little bit of input. And I don't know whether you've ever seen my account or so. That's the reason why I'm asking this question.
Okay.
The problem is that the emails are good. Although in the line of work that I'm in, it's more like an emergency type of a deal that you need to have something right there and then.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been my Achilles problem here. I have had, I would say 30% perhaps, somewhere around there, because I had somebody making the calls for me.
Okay.
And one day she got up and she quit. She just said like, well, look, I'm getting yelled at and I'm feel like I'm ashamed and stuff like that. And that's it. And she's a good person and she's very good on what she does. She said, well, look, until you get this thing work out, you give me a call back.
Yeah.
So a good 30% of them she was getting, and people got mad just because they were like, well, where did you get my phone number? She handles that very well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm in personal injuries more than anything else. And they were like, well, I was not involved in any type of injuries and stuff like that, although I narrowed down the keywords where it's because I've been in this for a while, so I know which keywords respond well appropriately. Sure. So it's very well, how would I say, targeted. So, and it initially, this is my big market, and I thought I was gonna do very, very well on it if the numbers would work. But that's the reason why I'm asking this, just because I'm hoping that you can find a way to verify those phone numbers more than anything else to match it up, because I do know there are vendors out there that actually they do that.
Yeah.
Um,
We've had some people that do that. They run it through some kind of secondary system to verify the phone numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have that connection. If you were to ever want to, how would I say, exploit or take a look at it to see what can be worked, because
I'd
I
love to
tell
add
you,
all
this
that to the
would be
resource
great.
section. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd love to add anything that you've been using that's working. I'd love to add that to the resource section for everybody for sure.
Yeah, because
But yeah, we're definitely not promoting this as a call service. We're not promoting it as phone leads. It's basically email leads. The phone number is kind of a bonus on top if you want them. But anytime that you get into cold calling, you're going to get people that are just absolute asses. You know,
yeah, no. She's aware of it. It's just I think the problem is that, on that particular niche itself, it's either you were involved or you were not involved.
Yeah.
And out of the 30% more or less that she was getting to them, they were not involved. None of them were involved. So there was this complete disconnection there, and that killed the whole business. But I already seen, and I bought into the highest level for the how would I say level that you have now, just because it's a good deal. It's a lifetime type of a deal. That it's very brilliant on your side to do so. I white label it, and I can see how I'm going to market it personally, as far as the lead gens on the website and stuff like that. But at the same time, if and my niche, if the numbers were to call, that would be great. But I'm just gonna have to use it for other type of, the email itself, which usually when I look at the data, the name matches with the email. Most people have some kind of clues with their name, their full name, and some variation of their name within the email. So that I always knew that was it. But still, these people, they never answer back on those. And we have a sequence of 5 or 6 emails within 3 days. So we never got anything back. So it'll be interesting to see what happened down the line. So,
that the best way to do it, like the people that have had the most success at it, they're using the emails, they're instantly responding to the emails, and then they're pushing them to an offer where they opt in, and then they get them into a funnel, a sequence, then get them on the phone that way.
Yeah. It was an autoresponder as well. It's within minutes I was able to hook up Zaps along with it, and from the Google Sheets, goes directly into my Gmail and stuff like that, and phone calls right away and text as well. But we'll see. I have hope that maybe you will work out all the kink, because I know there are technologies out there that can match up those people, even they move around and something. The AI should be able to link them over time. So it's to be spontaneous.
As things go on, we'll definitely be improving the system. That's for sure.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind, for whatever reason, while we were there, I was looking for the crypto link. You don't mind dropping it in there, because I cannot, for whatever reason, I cannot find that email, and I wanted to go aboard and at least give it a try.
Sure.
I would greatly appreciate it. And in case if I'm out of this, I want to wish you and everybody else on the call a very happy Thanksgiving, because we certainly have quite a bit to thank for.
Yeah, definitely. That is for sure. I'm just looking up the link for you here for the crypto club. Let's see here. You got all these pages to promote, so I got to find it.
Okay. Well, I'm I'm supposed to, I don't want to take your time on this, but you can always send it to me or ask. I'm pretty sure you will figure out my email altogether.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, I may do so as well.
No,
I thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Allie, let's take you while I'm looking for the crypto link.
All right. Well, I wanted to know, I don't know if you can double task, but what program did you use to design Becky?
Oh, let's see. All the stuff that I used on Becky is in the AI book. If you
Yes.
download the free AI book, you'll
Yeah,
find
oh,
exactly all the stuff.
I know. I did download the book. So I'm asking because I got hired to design 4 characters. And so I figured, I'm going to ask John. I did download the book, but there's quite a few programs in there. So I figured I'd just ask you.
Yeah, I believe there's a video program that like brings her to life, and I think that one is d-id.com. And then there's like 3 different voice programs I've worked with, and I don't remember offhand which one I use. So if you look in that book, you'll see everything is in there that I used to create her.
Okay. And then next question, because I'm diving into this world of AI graphics, I've been doing research on the difference between DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, and Midjourney. And I'm wondering if you or anybody else has any opinions on like which one's better. From what I found out, Midjourney it creates really beautiful graphics, but they don't let you, they'll block your, literally block you if you like say, like let's say you were designing Becky and you were just having fun and thought a busty Becky, they won't even design it. And if you go a Trump Becky, they won't design it. So no politics and no like anything that for them is immoral.
Yeah,
So
I actually did use Midjourney to create her, and I found the same thing. It was I had to be very, very choosy about the words to get her the way I wanted her.
Right.
And and then the other thing, like once I got her the way I wanted her, I wanted to use her, for a lot of stuff. So I needed different versions of her, like in different clothes. I figured she shouldn't show up in the same clothes every day, right? If I'm going to be using her across the board. So I took her shopping and I figured I need to get her some outfits, right? And every time I would try and do it, it would come up with a completely different girl. And I'm like, no, damn it, that's not what I wanted. I need the same girl in different clothes. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to prompt it until I actually used a reference of a URL that had the image to her. So I referenced the URL of her image as a base model, and then it did it perfectly. It just put the new clothes on her.
Okay, so how do you do that, John? How do you reference a URL? That's what I remember you saying that, and I was like, I don't know how to figure that one out.
So you literally like upload the image to your website or something, and then you can right click on it and copy the URL of the image. And then you paste that into the prompt and you say, use this image as the base.
Okay. Okay.
And then that way it has a reference to who you're replicating. And then it will take all of her features and it'll just basically duplicate her and put new clothes on her.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And then do you guys, anybody, John, does anybody know about, like from what I'm reading, stable diffusion is like in the middle of the road. The graphics aren't as good as Midjourney or
See,
Midjourney.
that's what I have heard. I've heard Stable Diffusion is actually far better, but I don't know how to
Well-
use it. It looked a little more complicated to me to use that. But that's where the guy that I've told you about, Ori, I got a commitment from him. I just need to schedule a date. He's going to actually come on our call and give you guys a demo of how he does all the AI graphics. And he's
Yeah,
really, really good.
He recommends, you connected me and he helped me out because, of you. So he recommended Stable Diffusion, and he has a course, but it's like $350 a month to, he would help you figure out whatever. But anyway, and that might be a great price in the world of AI graphic design. But he was really great. He recommended Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion has now, I've been researching it since I talked to or we were texting. Stable Diffusion has like a 0.20 upgrade under another name, and it's like, UXIS or something like that. And that's all the way around better, but it's a lot more technical. So I'm just trying to figure out between DALL-E, which is ChatGPT's graphic program, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, which one might be best. And all of them, like DALL-E uses, you can pay for credits instead of having to pay every month. So that might work because, if you don't use it every month, you can just buy a bunch of credits and then use the credits when you want. So I might go that way because I don't know if this is going to turn into an ongoing job gig, you know what I mean? But I just thought I'd ask you.
I've only used the Midjourney is the only one I've used. And
Was it easy, John?
It was very easy. What I did to learn it, like the way I learned how to create Becky was I went to YouTube and I pulled out, how do you make an AI animated avatar? And I watched like 3 videos, and one of the videos made more sense to me than the other 2. So I went back, I started it from the beginning, and I just paused it at every step. And within like 20 minutes, I had an animated avatar. It was pretty simple. And it was using 3 programs. You have to create the image of the person first. So I used Midjourney there. And then you have to create the voice script, which is basically writing a script using ChatGPT. And then you take that script to the AI voice, and you can have whatever voice you want overlaid. That's the one I don't remember which one I used offhand is the voice program. Not sure which one I used on that. But then once you have the voice and the image, you take those to d-id.com and you upload your image, you upload your voice, and it brings the 2 together and animates it. And it's pretty simple. I mean, it's literally upload the image, upload the voice, and click go, and you have an animated avatar. You don't have to know how to do anything beyond that. So the biggest problem really is creating the image. It's like you have to write a prompt to create the image that you want. And then, you just have to write the script of what you want her or him to say. And then you'd load those 2 up into D-ID and away you go.
Okay. Well, thank you for this because it's super helpful. If you remember or come across the script and you want to send me a text, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's all in that AI book. I put everything in there.
Oh, it is in the voice program. Okay.
Yep, the whole thing.
All right. Thank you. So that's
I'm literally detailed how I did it right in there.
Oh, excellent. Okay, cool. Thanks, John. That was my the other thing. I mean, if somebody else has their hand up, I can't tell. I am in the category, I'm a fine artist, so I'm always, and I'm doing creativity coaching, and it's been wonderful, but I'm in the category of the one-off thing. So I'm always I had a great meeting with Brady. He's super awesome. And like I said to him, I was like, I finally got what you said, like that you love, you don't do anything unless you're making money and having fun and helping people. And I really got that. So I'm in the space of wanting to figure out how to, we talked about this. So I'm going to figure out how to do the affiliate marketing, because like my fine arts, I actually was going to ask you about this. I'm trying to think of the maternity dress timeline. When somebody buys a piece from me, it's pretty much, I mean, how many pieces of fine art, like I have collectors, but 1, 2, 3, 5 at the most. So I was like, I got to figure out an alternate path. It's almost like, Craig has that, rock star guy in there, Blazo, I don't know. Anyway, he's like plays for Ozzy Osbourne, but he was like, yeah, I'm like, if we're not touring, I don't make money. So it was, fun to listen to him, but I'm in the same boat. I'm making art and trying to sell them. Blasco, thanks, Janie. Anyway, so I'm in that situation where I'm trying to figure out how to be a better business person.
Follow the ACT program. That's about the best advice I could give you.
Right. But ACT is if you have a business idea and niche, right? I mean, as an artist.
No, ACT is how you look at business. ACT is how you look at opportunity. ACT is really the core foundation of what builds a business. Like you just said, you have 4 or 5 people, and if that's all you have, that doesn't make profitable.
Right. No, yeah, that's what I mean. I meant like I have collectors that buy maybe 1 to 5 pieces, but then what do I do with them? How do I, so I'm during this conversation, I was thinking, how is there a path for me like the maternity dress, or do I just pivot and find something, like you said, that I am passionate about, can help people, and can also make me a lot of money. So, for me, I love who you are, and you have integrity, and your products always work. So I'm thinking along the path of affiliate marketing for you, and focusing on mastering that. And so that's my pivot. And then I'm also for Rich to figure out how to empower him. That's always on my mind. So anyway, it's just a commentary what I'm up to, because as a fine artist, I'm selling emotion, and the idea around humanities, art is about the highest expression of what human beings can do. So then where do you go from there? I don't know. So
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Mr. McLean.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, happy
turkey
Thanksgiving,
hat guy.
everybody. I can almost smell the turkey. It's crazy. It's so close. I can almost smell it. Hey, I have 2 quick questions. John, could you I took you up on the crypto offer, and but could you just bullet point the other offer you have about acquisition error, about beta testing, and how long it lasts, and who's it for, and what the benefit is?
Gotcha. Okay, so acquisition air is about it's AI lead generation based on search. It's like when somebody searches on a keyword, we can follow them around, make sure that it's actually a lead. So we make sure they consume 2 pieces of relevant content. Once they do, we flag it as a lead. We go get their contact information and pipe it to you as a lead in real time. So that's what it does. That's the benefit of it, is in market leads. Like this is like hot. This is somebody that's looking for you right now, and you could email them right as they're looking for you. So that's what it does. The opportunity of it, we sell it in 3 different levels. We call it acquisitionnaire. It's just a play on words. It's like, it's like, you have the control tower to drive the traffic of the internet wherever you want it. You can control where the planes land. So we can funnel all of these visitors right to your website destination. So it's kind of a play on words. It's kind of just a cutesy little thing. And it's pretty cool. That's why we called it acquisitionnaire, but it's a lead generation program. And it works really well. I mean, it'll get you a lot of leads because it's from people searching. And it's not about like Google and Bing and Yahoo. This collects information from all search boxes all across the internet. Like somebody could be searching on Home Depot or Amazon or eBay or somebody's personal website, YouTube. Yeah, anything with a search box. And it's going to grab them and follow them around. And if they consume more content on that same keyword, then it's going to tell you, it's going to say, hey, this person's looking for this. And as they're doing it. So it's almost like you're a mind reader. So that's what the product does. And then we have it in 3 different levels. You could buy it as what we call the private plane. That's for your own business. That's just for you to set up campaigns. You can buy the leads. The leads cost, we're selling the leads wholesale through the platform at $1.99 each. So you can get the private plane and you can set up as many campaigns. A campaign is basically a collection of keywords. It's a set of keywords. And then you say, okay, I want these leads for these keywords. You can put parameters on it, like down to zip code level. You can say, I want the people searching for this keyword in this zip code or this bundle of zip codes or the city or the state. It's only for the US. It's only good for the United States. But anyway, it's a lead acquisition program that's really, really powerful.
Yep.
So the private plane is for you to use it for your own business. So you set up your campaigns, the leads come in, you follow up, you make sales. The next one is the corporate jet. And that is for basically ideal for somebody that wants to be in the lead gen business. That allows you to take on clients. That allows you to create an unlimited amount of client campaigns. You can set the lead prices at whatever you want. You're paying $1.99 for them. So you can set your retail prices for your customers at whatever you want. You can actually set the lead price per customer. Like if you have different customers in different niches, you might want to charge them different amounts. So you have the ability to do that. The billing system is all built into it. So it splits the billing. Like when your customer pays you for the leads, the wholesale part comes out and goes right to us. The profit goes right into your bank account. So it manages all that multi-layered billing for you. It's a really, really cool product. And then the next level up is what we call the full airliner. This is the full airline mode, and it's a white label. And you basically get to change the name of it. You can call it whatever you want. You can run it on your own domain. It's fully white labeled as your own software. And then you can sell it to people retail. You can sell it to to your customers. They can create their accounts, all that stuff. And the lead prices are all the same. The leads are $1.99 each. That's your wholesale cost, whether you're using them for yourself or you're reselling them. The platform, there's a platform fee monthly to have access to the platform. So that is what is heavily discounted right now. Is it the
same platform fee for all 3 levels or different?
Different. There's different price levels at each one.
Got it. Okay.
So and after the Black Friday, there's also going to be setup fees. So there'll be a setup fee, then the platform fee.
Okay.
So, and like to give you an example, the white label, the full airliner mode, the setup fee is $2,000. So if you get it now, you're going to be saving $2,000 on the setup fee. And I believe the monthly fee on the white label is $4.97. And if you get it right now, you're getting it for $2.97, and you get to lock that in for life.
That's for the corporate jet, did you say?
That's for the full blown white label full
Oh,
airline.
oh, I see. So
That's the top
so
of
it's
the
2000.
line.
Right. So setup is 2,000, and then monthly the reduced rate. The offer is for a locked in $297 per month for the platform.
Correct. So that's
Got it.
$200 a month savings.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next offer, the corporate jet.
Corporate
What is-
jet, the setup on that one is going to be $997 one time. And then that one would be $297 normally, and the Black Friday special is $197 locked in for life.
Okay.
And then the private plane, the setup on that one, let me see. I don't remember what the setup on that one was.
I think it was $497, John.
Yeah, $497. Okay, so it's $497 for the setup on that one. And then that one's going to be 97. Is that right, Brady? 97 a month? Normal?
Yeah, normal pricing, yeah.
And then for the Black Friday, it's 47. 47 or 49, something like that.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for summarizing that. I have two quick questions. As far as the keyword, you might have heard these before, but as far as a keyword question, you know, my ideal as money coach Chris, what my ideal target is engaged or newlywed couples working to combine how to talk about money and combine their money. What keywords would you use for that description? Is there a limit to the keywords? Of course, you don't want a lot of keywords, but what keywords in that broad description or in that niched description using the software, what keywords would you select?
Well, with that comes down to keyword research, just like in SEO.
Okay.
But this is different than in SEO, because in SEO, you're trying to find the exact thing they're searching for.
Okay.
And in here, we're just trying to find exact words in combination that they would search for. Like, for instance, you can use up to 3 words in a phrase here. Whereas in SEO, you could use a long tail keyword that had, 20 words in it. It's very specific. But here, you put the 3 words in, or you could put 2 words. We recommend that you do 3.
Yep.
And then it's going to give you every variation of keyword as long as it goes out that has all 3 of those words included in it. So you don't have to use throwaway words. Like, for instance, best, don't even use it. You're going to get best anyway.
Yeah.
Use the specific, like newlywed. Newlywed, finance, whatever the words are that you think they might be searching for.
Yep.
You throw those in combination, and then it'll give you any combination thereof that include all 3 of those.
Okay. So for example, and I would say marriage money issues or newlywed money arguments. And I'm assuming then that the software would, I could do like a campaign, like let's say, okay, these are marriage money issues. I could try a campaign with that. And if I wasn't getting the result, I could try with another.
Yes, like an example of how you would make multiple keywords out of that.
Yes.
If you say money argument is your 2, so you could have newlywed money argument. You could have husband money argument, wife money argument, couple married argument, or couple, you swap out that one word with similar words to get more variation.
More variation. Okay, great. So it's a process. It's kind of like A/B split testing a little bit. You see what works and whatnot. Okay.
And in here, as long as it's a specific thing of something that somebody's looking for you, like, who cares how they piece the words together?
Yes.
As long as it includes those 3, you should be pretty good to go.
Okay. Super. Well, thanks. I really appreciate you being able, you and Brady being able to,
Clear that up.
yeah, and very succinctly. So that's great. I have one other general question to put out to the group. A name recommendation. I talked about this briefly with you, John. I'm going to start building my second Kartra site. And what I would like to do is I would like to, as I gain more, I'm really studying Kartra hard and building my own sites and learning. I'd like to help other people do that who don't want to learn Kartra or confused, want someone to handhold them, take them through the process. So I'm going to start building the site that advertises my services as a Kartra site builder for people. So
Yeah,
my
I
question
will actually have some customers to push your way very soon. I've been talking to a lot of people about that.
Oh, really? Well, you know what I need? I need a marketing campaign and Kartra to promote that. Thank you. First of all, thank you for talking about that. Does anyone have a suggestion? My in what I do, for me, it's moneycoachchris.com. And but for Kartra, does anyone have any suggestions on a website name? You know, like Kartra Coach Chris. But but I'm kind of shying away from that because people might not know what Kartra is. But does anyone have any suggestions?
I would.
Coach.
You have to decide whether or not you want to approach a market that knows what Kartra is or not. You may want to use that as one of your first filters. If they don't even know what Kartra is, do you really want to go down that road?
I don't want to, because until I met John, I didn't know. Well, I didn't know shit from Shinola on a lot of things, but I didn't know about Kartra.
I actually wouldn't use Kartra in the name because it's going to just cut out almost everybody out.
No, I agree. That's why I'm not going to
use. You want to use something they're all familiar with, like Funnel, like Funnel Magic, or Funnel Magician with the funny hat.
Oh yeah, this could be the picture. Yeah. Okay. No, I think
we have a friend who's the funnel godmother. You might want to be the funnel godfather.
Nice. Nice. But I think that's a good direction, that word funnel, because it's a buzzword that people, hear about and say, oh, I want that. As opposed to if I said, okay, yep.
Always key into what they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever you have a chance, key into what they want, you'll have a better path.
Right. And it's funny how words, a single word, and just saying like money coach, or sorry, marketing coach, that's so broad. It's like, what does that mean? But you're right. Having a product or something that's specific. You're right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Your biggest problem with funnel is going to be finding something that's not taken yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't want to use something where somebody's already got a website of .com and you'd just be driving people to them.
So you think that Funnel Funny Hat is already, well, yeah, it's probably already taken. Yeah. Funnel.
The funnel funny guy.
Your funny funnel friend. That's good. All right.
Well, that gives fun hyphen full.
Gregory said funnel wizard. Oh,
your furry wizard hat. Friend.
Funnel friend. Fun guy. Funnel fun guy. Wait, is that like a fungus or fun guy or
fun guy?
All right. Well, anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Thanks. So I appreciate that input. That does make sense about the right direction.
That's awesome.
John, I have a real life story to relate with you, Chris. I had a meeting with a coach, and I came up with an idea for a site, and I went to the coach, and she talked 2 hours, and I told her the site, and she says, "Oh, that's already taken." I mean, right off the top of her head, that's what she said. Well, guess what? I came home, checked it out, it was not taken. I got it. So please do not assume.
I was going to say, John, when you shared a few weeks ago, as you were developing Acquisition Air, that you put a prompt in to and it really it kept giving you the focus all the way down to acquisition and something else that was really like very direct. And you chose acquisition because it was more fun. And, you know, it's a great analogy. And also it would sell for a lot, you know, which is a great exit strategy. What can you share about, maybe for Chris and all of us, what prompt you used, or a series, or just anything toward that? Because the key, you know, is prompt.
It was actually a sequence of prompts that I used to create it. And one of the prompts had all of the copy that I wrote myself. Like, I actually brainstormed this on a plane coming back from Boston, or actually it was coming back from Florida. It was when Perry just ripped me a new one for not having a good brand name. So I'm sitting on the plane and I'm like, all right, well, I got 5 hours here of nothing I can do. So I just started like brainstorming, like, you know, what should I call this product? And that's where I came up with something air. I looked, it was taken. I'm like, shit. And the only thing I could come up with that wasn't taken was acquisition air. And I thought, well, that's cool. You know, acquisition is exactly what people want. They want to acquire customers, and the airliner can just deliver those customers right to their front door. So the gears started kicking, and I started writing down like just little phrases, catchphrases, you know, like I put in there, this is your captain speaking, you know, prepare for a hot load of leads to be delivered to your front door. You know, and I was just keying it into everything to do with that airliner that I was on right there at that time. And I brought that back and I plugged that into Chat GPT. And I said, you know, I told it exactly what I was doing. You know, I'm working on the marketing for a lead gen software, and I'd like to call it Acquisition Air, and here's why. And I put in all the stuff that I came up with on the plane. And you know, and I basically gave it a lot of detail around that, about what it was, how it worked, what I was doing with it. And then I asked it to come up with the sales page, which is basically the sales page that you see now on the website, acquisitionair.com. And it spit that out, and it was almost perfect. I was just reading through it going, wow, this is awesome. This nailed it. And then, you know, I put up the page. I was all dialing it in, getting it ready. I'm like, this looks really cool. And then that little voice in the back of my head said, really? Acquisition Air? Isn't that kind of stupid? Are people going to get it? And I started questioning it. So I went back to Chat GPT and I asked it, I said, you know, do you think this is the right angle really to take, calling this Acquisition Air? And the chat program is really programmed not to be opinionated. So it's really hard for it to tell you what it thinks, because it's just not going to give you an opinion. So you know, and when I found that, I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how to get around this. So the next prompt that I put in for it was, give me 3 different angles other than Acquisition Air, same you know, same details, all that, just 3 different angles, 3 different things. Like, I used Acquisition Air, come up with 3 more for me. And it did, and it spit them out, and they were freaking phenomenal. And I'm looking at them going, damn, now how do I pick? You know, which one do I go with? And then I went back and I said, okay, and I told it, you know, you're the top whatever in the top ad agency, and you have a lifetime of experience knowing what works and what doesn't. Of these, which one would you pick if your business depended on it? You had to have the best option available. Which one of these do you like best, and why? And I think it was because I told it and why, so it would have to explain its reasoning. It got it out of the opinion mode and it went into fact. And it went through and it made a bulleted list of pros and cons on each one of the funnels. And it still didn't give me an answer of which one to go with. It just gave me the pros and cons list. And then I prompted it again. I said, okay, based on these pros and cons, which one would you choose as the best possible option or the best possible chances of success? And it chose acquisition error, and it told me why. And I'm like, good enough for me. I'm going with it. It convinced me, reading through the pros and cons of all the variations. It really was the strongest one. I got it right out of the gate. It was just I didn't trust it. So I had to have some convincing. I'm like, I'm going to go all in on this. So I need to know what I'm doing is right. So I let ChatGPT convince me. Just that simple.
And John, you pay for you use the paid version because you mentioned that you could add a longer prompt with the paid version.
I actually use the free version of ChatGPT.
Ah, cool.
So yeah, most of the stuff I use is the free version of it, unless I need it, because I know most of it's marketing. Most of the thing about getting you to pay for stuff is marketing. So, like, even this is a perfect example of this. Elon Musk's Starlink satellite service, they sold a mobile version of it that, like, myself and a lot of other people put on their boats. And I got an email about a year ago that said, we've detected that, you've been using the unit at sea under motion. And that's not covered in this policy. And you need to upgrade to the marine version, which on the marine version, they charge you by the data that you use. And it is wildly expensive. Like mine was $135 a month, unlimited. And they wanted you to move, and all their marketing was trying to get you to move and upgrade to that unlimited or that measured plan so you could use it at sea. And I knew it was bullshit because the time when they sent me the letter, I had not been using it underway. So, and then I went on to their forums, and they basically sent that letter out to every customer they had. And guess what? All the lemmings went over the cliff. They all went over the cliff. They all now are paying outrageous fees for their data. I did not. I just held the course. I can use the thing anywhere I want at sea, and I'm still paying the basic fee. So it was a marketing ploy. And that's
you're wondering why. That's why Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet. He's got to fund that SpaceX.
Yeah, but it's marketing. It's all marketing. Marketing equals money. If you can figure out how to get people to pay for what you've given them for free, that's marketing. But I know behind the scenes, I know the puppet behind the curtain pulling the strings. So a lot of times I won't fall for it. What you get with the paid ChatGPT, I haven't seen any difference in the quality. The difference I've seen in the quality is in the quality of the prompts it's given.
I had a new experience last night, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I asked it to evaluate a gaming program that I've been playing around with, and now it does analytics. So it didn't give me what I wanted, but it was a step up from what it had been doing in the past.
Yeah, well, they're always improving everything, and that's the free one, right?
No, I have the paid GPT-4.
Oh, okay. So there might be, there might be some additional features and functionality to the paid one, but I got to tell you, on the free one, I've gotten a lot out of it.
Oh, we did too, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the reasoning is because the quality of the prompting, not the base platform.
I have a footnote for your acquisition error on the link that was put in earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the very bottom of the page of that link, toward the bottom where you have the logos, acquisitions is missing a C.
Oh, okay. Well, I can get that fixed.
I concur.
I see it. Yeah, you are right. I'll get that fixed. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, boss.
As long as the buy buttons work, I'm good.
That I know works because Brady and I went through it the other day.
Cool.
That the buy buttons are working very good.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Oh, I also, is there anything else anybody wanted to cover? If not, I got a Black Friday thing I'll share. Nobody? All right. Well, this comes from Perry Belcher, who, I talk about Perry quite a bit. He is a really, really good marketer. He is a really good marketer. He's a great copywriter, and he's been using a lot of AI to do the copywriting lately. And he basically claims that against split tests, him against the machine beats him every time. So, but again, it's with the prompting. But I just wanted to share a Black Friday special that he just put out today. And I'm going to read some of the copy to you. And it's so on point with why you should learn the ACT program. It's just uncanny. It's right in there. Like the subject of it is hook your perfect target copywriting avatar. And it's got the little target symbol. So the way the email reads is, research, boys and girls, is the name of the game when it comes to creating offers. Where have you guys heard that before? Right? I say that all the time. And he says the difference between great copywriters and shady copywriters is almost always research. That's our analysis process. And then he goes on to say, the truth is, copy or writing copy is not that difficult. You just follow a recipe and you're just about as good as anyone else. I know because I created one of the best recipes in the business, but the truth is, if the target's wrong, you lose, period. The hook is king. The hook is the big idea. It's the king. It's the king of grabbing attention. So he said, understanding what's really going on in the mind of the customer is the only way to write earth-shattering offers. Figuring out that secret dream that they have that they're afraid to tell anybody about, or the secret fear that keeps them up in the middle of the night. That's the stuff. And then he says, you can grab my mind map on how I create avatars and hooks here. And basically, it's the offer that he's been selling now for the last 2 years, his fill in the blanks copywriting course. And it's a free thing. You pay for the shipping and he sends you these laminated sheets of the fill in the blank stuff. And then he immediately sells you the course. So he goes from a free thing to a $297 thing. And then he does a seminar. And, by the time you're done, you've spent a couple $1,000s with it. But I just thought that was interesting, his take on the research, how important the research is to writing copy. I saw that this morning and I'm like, I gotta share that. That's just too good. That just like reinforces everything I talk about right there from one of the best copywriters I know. So it's good stuff.
John, I'm surprised you haven't JV'd with him for ACT and Acquisitionaire.
It's kind of hard to JV with Perry. Perry has a really tight-knit group of people. Like all of those guys, it's almost like a little syndicate. And even though I'm like one of the ones they always call on, it's hard to break into that little ring. It's a little ring of fire. And it's pretty tough to do, but that doesn't mean I won't try. I'm definitely, I think this one, I think the acquisitionaire, I think it's worthy of his attention once he gets his eyes on it. So I'm definitely going to try. And if I do, it will be miraculous. So, but they have this like little group clan. They all promote each other, and they very rare do they go outside that little ring. So their ring of advisors is much bigger than their ring of people they'll promote. So, all right. Anything else before we wrap up for today?
Thank
All
you,
right.
John. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.
John, I have a quick question about the.
I'm eating
I've been-
lobster, John.
Yeah, we're having lobster for Thanksgiving.
John, the long input, I was looking for that long input one, and it looks to me like it is in Poe, and it's an AI, but it'll take 75,000 or 7,500 words, which is almost or 75,000 words, I guess it is, which is like 300 pages. All the rest of them have got really short prompts, and I'm wondering, where are you finding a free one where you can put the long prompts in?
Yeah, I think it was Poe. I think it was Poe that we popped that into to test it.
Yeah, well, I tried that, and the long one, I got one, maybe two prompts into it, and it says you've exceeded your daily limit. So it bounced me out pretty quickly. So I'm currently subscribing just because I need to have the long chats to be able to give it a 4, 7, 8 page prompt and still have it remember it and be able to carry it on down through the conversation. that was it, but okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna delve back into that probably after the first of the year. I'm pretty locked down now through the end of the year with getting acquisitionaire up and all that. But I was thinking about doing like, some events, even some boating events, private mastermind groups, and really focus on the AI and the prompting and all that. But it's probably going to get pushed after the first of the year. And I'll delve back into that, and obviously things will have changed by then, so it'll have to update stuff, but we'll get back into that. But the prompting is really just, it's just creativity. The more you ask, the more you tell it, the better the answers it's going to give you from the AI. So
Hey, John, are you doing Newport Parade?
Yes, I have to go do all the maintenance and get it all ready, and I'm gonna move it on down there.
Cool. Okay,
So,
thanks.
So I'll be down there from the 13th to the 17th.
Okay, thanks.
So that week's call will be from the Newport Harbor on Starlink. So, all
John,
right, everybody.
A few people have asked if you're doing that webinar at what time on Friday. I don't know if you've announced that or you're going to put that in that email or whatever, but just so you know.
That will be in the email, and I will come up with that by the time the email's done.
Oh man. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Don't eat too much turkey. Like, don't hurt yourself, but definitely get your fair share, and we will see you all next week.
Thank you, Captain. All ashore. Happy Thanksgiving.
Peace.